Hi everyone! Today we are going to be looking at one of the fruits of the Spirit, which you can find in Galatians 5:22 to 23. And the one we're going to be looking at today is love. Now we all know how important love is, don't we? It is a human need. And I think it's a Millie, this is Millie, she's almost 18 years old, and I think it's a need for Millie as well, to be honest. She loves plenty of love. Anyway, how are we showing others we love them? Oh, are we good at it? Yeah? Most of us will say we are, won't we? And we can show it in many different ways. People can be huggers. I'm a hugger. I love hugs, and I love hugging people, and I love having hugs back. And if I really trust someone, and I have to say this, I have to trust them 100%, okay? I will say to them, can I have a hug if I need a hug or feel like a hug? But you have to be careful who you say things like that to. As I said before, you have to know 100% that they're not going to get the wrong idea about you, or they're not going to take advantage. But right now, with all this COVID stuff going around, I don't want any hugs, and I'm certainly not going hugging other people. And if you don't keep your 2 meters away from me, I'm going to be backing off. Okay, so such is life. But think for a minute or two. Are we showing love to everyone, or only to those who show us love and respect? And to those that we may consider to be on equal standing as us, both financially and intellectually, despite the fact that God tells us quite clearly that we are all equal. Unfortunately, man does not always see it that way. And often actions speak louder than words. What about the homeless person who perhaps doesn't smell so good? What about him? Or maybe the drug addict who always seems under the influence? Or the prostitute? Maybe the person who admits to being gay, or the person who spends more time in prison than out, or maybe someone that's a completely different faith to your own. Do you love them? Do you show them love? Would you welcome any of these people into your church with open arms? Well, I'd like to think you would, and I know that is what Jesus would want as well. If they came to your church and felt like they didn't fit in, it is because you would not make them feel welcome. You wouldn't accept them, and you wouldn't show them love. If you welcome Jesus into your church, you need to welcome all these other people also. Would Jesus want to be amongst the people that you may not want in your church? Of course he would. He's more likely to be with them than the people who don't want them. We need to watch that we do not become like the Pharisees. They felt they were too good to mix with people who didn't conform to their ideals. Jesus, on the other hand, he mixed with everyone. Thank goodness he did. And he never showed favoritism. And church should be like that. We should not see church as an elitist club. We need to remember that We are the church. It's not the building, it is us. I doubt very much Jesus would turn up to church in a suit. He's more likely, well, he's certainly not going to turn up in a long white robe either. So get that idea out your head if it's in there to start with. He's most likely to turn up wearing t-shirt and jeans and a pair of trainers. But don't expect them to be designer, because he's not interested in designer labels, okay? But he would be clean and tidy. Anyway, how also, I love, this is me going off track, thinking about Jesus in t-shirt and jeans. Oh dear, I'll get all muddled now. Hold on, get my act together, that's it. How also, sorry, I just the thought of Jesus in t-shirt and jeans. Oh dear me, I bet he'd look good in them. Anyway, let's get back on track, sorry. Also, how would you feel about loving people who don't show you any love, who aren't very keen on you at all? Now, that is a hard one, isn't it? Why should you love them? They're not being particularly nice to you. Well, we need to love them because Jesus tells us to, and that's reason enough. What you say? That's a big ask. Yeah, it can be, I know. But you know, we have to get over it, don't we? Hate is a destructive, negative emotion, and we don't need them. It can consume us, yeah? It can screw us up and take us away from God, who is love. God stands for love. He is love. So get rid of anything negative and any hateful notions in your head quick and fast. Because you need to remember that all negative emotions will have a bad effect on you. And they'll have little effect on the person you're feeling negative about. Okay? You cannot win with negative emotions. You do not need to carry hate around with you. Like unforgiveness, it will weigh you down. And it will do absolutely nothing at all for your well-being. You can control your emotions. It's about choice. Negative emotions are self-destructive. So decide not to go there. Jesus tells us to love our enemies. He knows what's good for us and what will help to create peace and harmony around us. And now I'm going to read from Matthew 5:43 to 48. In that way, you'll be acting as true sons of your Father in heaven. For he gives his sunlight to both the evil and the good, and sends rain on the just and on the unjust too. If you love only those who love you, what good is that? Even scoundrels do that much. If you are friendly only to your friends, how are you different from anyone else? Even the heathen do that. But you are to be perfect, even as your Father in heaven is perfect. So that spells it out very clearly, a lot more clearly than what my efforts are. Okay? You get hold of the Bible. Very, very good. Get hold of a modern version, because that's how we talk today. All these thieves, vows and arts. I'm not saying anything against them if that's what you like, but time I've thought about what it all means, I've missed the gist, okay? So that's not for me. Okay, so God's love is the highest form of love, and it's called agape love. It is an unconditional love. This is the love that we need to have for others. Jesus has agape love for us. All the time, whether we deserve it or not. It's not always easy to love everyone, I know that. No one said it would be. But when we ask God to help us, we are able to. Goodbye everyone, take care.